How's it going, everyone? And it looks like coming off the heels of the successes of the Suicide Squad video game as well as Multiverses, two of the most successful live service games of the last decade, Warner Brothers ain't doing so hot. Obviously, I joke about those games being incredibly successful. No, anybody with half a brain cell could have seen Suicide Squad's failure coming from a mile away, and Multiverses, I think, had some potential, but ultimately, that game was a flop as well, and that game is being shut down here shortly, as we talked about. And now it looks like the Wonder Woman video game that was in development over at Monolith Productions is seeing a lot of turmoil, and Rocksteady is shifting to a single-player Batman title, but that game is going to be a long, long time away. As anybody could tell you, these game dev cycles are very long. 9 years spent on Suicide Squad, at least a 9-year turnaround time. I'm not sure the exact development time for Suicide Squad, but it was 9 years in between Arkham Knight and Suicide Squad. But we'll talk about that at the end of this video. This Wonder Woman story, I think, is insanity. Monolith Productions has been hard at work at the Wonder Woman video game. If you're not familiar with Monolith Productions, they are the guys that brought you Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, incredibly well received on Middle-earth Shadow of War. Since the release of Shadow of War, they haven't put out any new video games. They have been working on a Wonder Woman video game. When did Shadow of War come out? 2017! Yes, it has been 8 years, or it will be 8 years since the release of Shadow of War, and they haven't put out a new game since then. Now, Shadow of War, to be fair, did get some DLC releases, much like Batman Arkham Knight, but 8 years have gone by, and Wonder Woman isn't gonna come out anytime soon. Man, does this feel like this is Suicide Squad all over again. According to Bloomberg, the project was rebooted last year and has switched directors. One of the company's biggest bets in development of a video game based on Wonder Woman has struggled to coalesce, according to people familiar with the project. Early last year, it was rebooted and switched directors. The game has already cost more than $100 million, said the people who asked not to be identified discussing non-public information, and is still years away from release if it ever makes to market. That is absolutely insane. Now, we'll get to my thoughts on Wonder Woman, but let's cover the Batman story as well. It is also claimed that Rocksteady Studios is working on a single-player Batman title, and that is what they have shifted to. However, that is going to be years away. And this is coming from David Zaslav. Warner Brothers was doubling down on just 4 games. Hogwarts Legacy, a sequel, is already in the works. Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, and DC, in particular Batman. We are focusing our development on those core franchises with proven studios to improve our success ratio. So, proven studios is true for Rocksteady, and giving them an opportunity to shift to Batman, I think it'll still be incredibly anticipated. People don't have that perception of Rocksteady at this point being washed. I think it's very similar to what's going to happen with BioWare. People will give BioWare one more chance when it comes to a new Mass Effect game. People are going to give Rocksteady one more chance when it comes to a new Batman game. I think if Rocksteady were to do, let's say, a sequel to Suicide Squad, oh baby, yeah, that wouldn't turn out well. Or if, yeah, I think Dragon Age at this point is kind of fried as an IP, but Rocksteady shifting back to Batman, one decent release that's received well, people are going to be like, oh man, Batman is back, Rocksteady is back. It's just unfortunate it's going to end up taking like 15 years for Rocksteady to release a good game in between Arkham Knight and, you know, whatever this next Batman game, the Damage of live service game. But we'll get to that and talking more about that in a little bit. Let's circle back to Monolith Productions and this untitled Wonder Woman game. This is an absolute disaster, given that, again, this year will be 8 years since Shadow of War came out. Shadow of War, again, got some DLC, but Wonder Woman's been in development for years and years. I remember hearing about this game years ago, and they've already sunk $100 million into it, and now it's been rebooted. Now, we don't have any inclination on why it's been rebooted, but I'm just throwing something out there, alright? If this is 2020, 2021, right? It's 2020, 2021, and Wonder Woman is beginning development, or it's gearing up development, whatever. The main core of the game is being thought of. If you're telling me in that time somebody at Warner Brothers, you know, a Suicide Squad is being developed as well, 2021, 2022, and they are thinking about, oh man, Wonder Woman's skins, that's gonna make us a whole F-load of money. And, you know, I could totally see them thinking that. A DC IP like Wonder Woman, we got our daily challenges, we got skins over here, $9.99 for this skin, $14. I don't know that to be true, and maybe it's not, but I would have to think that the thought, at least, let's just say the thought went through their mind. I would find it very hard to believe that they would take an IP like Wonder Woman, make a game out of it, but not figure out a way to monetize it to the nth degree. They did that with Suicide Squad. Why wouldn't they do that with, you know, Wonder Woman? And I don't know how the development of this game turned out, but given the fact it was rebooted last year, I wonder if the success level or lack thereof of Suicide Squad made them look at Wonder Woman and decide some things needed to change about the game. Who knows on that, but the game has already cost $100 million. You're talking about it being rebooted? Like, what? Is this gonna cost another $150 million to get out to market, and then you're talking about a marketing cost attached to it as well? That sounds like an absolute train wreck. And bear in mind that Suicide Squad ended up netting them a $200 million loss, or it was a part of that. So that's absolutely ridiculous to think about. And with the lack thereof of success with Suicide Squad, Rocksteady is now shifting back to a single-player Batman title. And this goes back to a point that I said. When it comes to these publishers, me complaining on YouTube videos, it's only gonna do so much. I had said before, brothers, buckle up. We gotta learn the hard way. They gotta learn the hard way. We gotta go through the Suicide Squads. We gotta go through the multiverses. We gotta go through the Concords, the Fair games, so on and so forth. These games need to contribute actual losses, and then they will understand. Me complaining about it, you complaining about it, it's only gonna do so much, but I have been very confident this whole time that this huge push for live service, it's not gonna work out. And, you know, Wonder Woman is me speculating on it having live service elements baked into it, but Suicide Squad, we can save that. But at the very least, a lot of these publishers have gone through the understanding of, oh, maybe this won't work out, because ultimately, we've said it before, you are changing the essence of what these developers have worked on in the past to chase this live service bag. And at the end of the day, yes, I can look at the top 10 selling games of 2024 and look at games like Madden's in there, Black Ops 6 is in there, Helldivers 2 is in there. Live service, it's a couple of games that are soaking up all of the attention. There's no world where people can just invest 1 billion hours into every live service game that comes out, and that's gonna lead to most of these games that are obviously chasing the bag and chasing that gravy train. And I get it, it's a business. That gravy train looks so appealing when you look at the money that Fortnite is generating, when you're looking at the money that Marvel Rivals is generating. But guess what? You gotta realize that you ain't Marvel Rivals, you ain't Fortnite, and that's okay, but don't try to be that just for desperately chasing that bag. And now you're shifting back to Batman, and I imagine Sony is gonna shift back to a lot of what brought them to the dance. But the reality is, when you're talking about taking all these L's with live service in conjunction with these lengthy development cycles and game development always not turning out as you expected, you're talking at bare minimum 5 to 7 years thrown out the window, and then on top of that, another 5 to 7 years in terms of development time. Sony Bend Studio has been working on Days Gone, or excuse me, not Days Gone 2, but this live service game for 6 years. Rocksteady had been working on the Suicide Squad game for I don't know how many years, but a lot of years, and now, okay, let's shift back to Batman Arkham. Like, since the release of Batman Arkham Knight, let's say Batman Arkham Knight came out in 2015 and a new Batman Arkham game comes out in 2030. There are people out there that in that time went to high school, finished high school, went to college, finished college, started their 9-to-5 job, and ended up with a promotion in that 9-to-5 job, and now they have kids. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's how much time is it. Think about the stages of life somebody went through in the time period between Arkham Knight and potentially the next Arkham game. It's absolute insanity that we just wasted that, and that's what Suicide Squad was. It was a colossal waste of time trying to chase this live service bag. The game was down to like $3 during the Steam sale. That's insane. That's what 9 years of no new Arkham game, no new Batman title led us to. It's just, when you put it in perspective like that, it is so egregious. But What can I do? I have been saying this from the rooftops, but I've also been saying we just gotta learn the hard way at this point, and that's what we're going to. Right now, these publishers are learning the hard way when it comes to live service, and it's something to me that I felt like was obvious, and I just feel like it's being so horridly out of touch with your audience. But what can you do? I think they were reaching a different audience, or trying to reach, because they didn't end up reaching that audience. They were trying to reach a different audience. But that'll do it for me, and let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.